I'm very metric driven, data oriented. That's one of the biggest things you can do as a sales leader is basically tell a team, this is how we're keeping score. There's winners and losers. There's ultimately going to be that winner. You really got to have that drive to go out and make it happen, right? If you want to be successful at sales, you can't report the news. You got to go out and make the news. You got to pretty quickly learn that no just means not today. And if you run away at the first no, it's going to be a really long climb to get where you want to be.
But then that moment where it starts to turn is always my favorite part. I call it the hockey stick momentum. You go down sometimes to go way back up exponentially.
I'm just so excited for the momentum we're building. The leads that we're generating to help our members grow their business has just been awesome.
Welcome to the Grit Blueprint Podcast, the playbook for building unmistakable brands that grow, lead, and last in the built world. I'm Stephanie Couch, the founder of Grit Blueprint, and I'm a lifelong building industry insider. I was raised here, built my career here, and now my team and I help others win here. The truth is, you can be the best option in your space and still lose to someone else who simply shows up better and more consistently. Each week on the Grit Blueprint, I'm going to show you how to stand out, earn trust, and turn your brand into a competitive advantage that lasts. If you're ready to be seen, known, chosen, and become unmistakable, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Grit Blueprint Podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Couch, and today I'm here in Indy with Eric Knox, the director of LBM Sales, right on the market floor. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Thanks, Stephanie. Excited to be here.
We have been here all weekend. We've been doing a lot of cool stuff. We've had booth activity unlike any other show I've ever been to with you guys.
It's been a lot of fun seeing the members come in and interact in the booth and just seeing the team interact with our new alignment and everything. It's been awesome.
It's been a fun show. What actually got you into sales? Because I know we're both fiercely competitive people. We figured that out pretty quickly when we started talking. But what actually made you get into sales and then hardware or lumber sales?
You know, I started at a very young age in a hardware store. And one of the things that I latched onto pretty early is when that customer or that contractor came in and said, I need this. Mm-hmm. And it was something we didn't have. And even better when they said, I need this and I need 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
Right. So now that hunt started. How do I find this? How do I get it? You know, how much money can I make on selling this? And I got that exposure working in the store, which was great. But then had opportunities throughout my career to evolve really more into that outside sales role and then really ultimately into sales leadership.
What was your very first role and where was the store?
I got my start lugging bag goods outside as a summer job. And it evolved from there. The lawn and garden department closed for the fall and winter. And I migrated into the hardware portion of the store and sporting goods. And before you knew it, I was running hardware stores in my early 20s and, evolved into outside sales in my early 30s and finally evolved and moved into the LBM business here over the last year and a half.
It has been a twisty, turny ride for you for sure, going from hardware and retail more traditionally to the LBM. Tell me a little bit about that transition and what's the last year been like for you?
The last year has been a whirlwind for many different reasons. One, the transition to LBM. It wasn't that long ago. We were at the Houston market and I came back from that and I got offered the opportunity to move over to LBM. And I'm like, I'm a hardware guy. What am I going to do over there? And, really one of the things that Nick Tallarico talked with me about, he's like, Eric, you're a builder. Mm-hmm. He's like, we've evolved the sales team. We've done all this. You're close. You're almost there. That last 10% is going to be the hardest part to get. And it's not nearly as fun as the first 90%. You can come over to the LBM team and really start that building process. And you know what? A year and a half later, I look back at it and Nick was right. It's been a really fun ride.
That's amazing. And we've actually been working together for really the last year since you moved over pretty closely. And we may be a dynamic duo. I don't know.
We are. I mean, we similar fashion style, not so much there, but our competitive spirit, passion for sales. Absolutely.
What do you think if you were talking to someone younger that wants to get into our business or maybe wants to get into sales, isn't sure, what does it take to be a successful salesperson in any industry, but you can specifically talk about this industry if you want?
You really got to have that drive to go out and make it happen, right? It really, if you want to be successful at sales, you can't report the news. You got to go out and make the news. And the other thing that has to happen is you got to pretty quickly learn that no just means not today, right? Yeah. And if you run away at the first no, it's going to be a really long climb to get where you want to be.
Yeah, and you're going to try stuff that's going to be a miserable failure. I mean, you're going to try to sell some product lines that people don't want. You might go out to market and just, pretty much get no's everywhere you go for a little while. But then that moment where it starts to turn is always my favorite part, is like when you feel, I call it the hockey stick momentum, but you go down sometimes to go way back up exponentially. I feel like that's where you guys are right now with the changes you've made in your sales team. So talk a little bit about that, because you've expanded a lot since you've come here. You put in a regional structure. Tell me about how that's working for the team.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to a couple different things. I'm very metric driven, data oriented. And when I came over to the LBM side, we had sales numbers and all that, but it was not the main focus. It took me way too long to figure out what a sale was, how to report it. But ultimately we built out a plan, got that in front of the team, explained why it was important. And then we publish those metrics. To me, that's one of the biggest things you can do as a sales leader, is basically tell a team, this is how we're keeping score, and there's winners and losers, and we're going to track this. And, there's nothing better than everybody on the team can technically win, right? Yeah. And it's just there's ultimately going to be that winner, right? And I want that team that has that passion and drive, and they're competing. And we've been able to start making that happen, right? We're very early in the stages. We've been under a regional structure really since early March with the start of the fiscal year. It's really kind of solidified, and we're now in that execution stage, right? I'm no longer selling a vision and trying to instill this culture. We're now out there doing it. And that's kind of, for me, it's been one of the best parts of market, is actually sitting back and watching this strategy play out, seeing the team work together with members and looking at the entirety of their business, as opposed to talking about one category at a time.
Absolutely. And trying new things. Like you said, you have a lot of new members that have lumber and True Value. That acquisition obviously changed the face of the company. And you have these new team members that are out there way more often. They're doing things like LinkedIn. So let's talk a little bit about that. LinkedIn is something that we've been partnering together on as a team to try to get more people to do that in your organization. Definitely. How has that worked, and what do you think about LinkedIn so far?
Well, I've learned it's really important that you should probably have a picture on your LinkedIn profile. I went a long time without one, but I've finally got that out there.
A man of mystery, Eric Knox.
Yeah, but credit to you, right? I've never been a big fan of social media. I've been, resistant to it. But what I've realized is LinkedIn is really a great selling tool where I'd always kind of viewed it as, hey, this is somewhere you go and you get connected with people you work with, and it's how you find your next job. But I've really spent a lot of time, over the last few months, building out my profile, connecting with people that I haven't worked with. And now here at Market, with some of your assistants, I'm seeing the change in who is viewing my profile, who's commenting on it, who's liking it, which now allows me to follow up and do this. And I've actually seen relationships grow, personal relationships via LinkedIn that I would have never had before. People that would have typically been strangers walking up to you in the booth. There's now this rapport and relationship you have, which to me, not being a fan of social media is strange, but I tell you, it works. And we're seeing other successes on the team with it.
Yeah. You thought that it was just all BS from a lady in a pink hat until you started hearing it, right?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't really say what I thought about LinkedIn and social media when you first started pushing it, but I am a believer at this point. That's for sure.
Yes. Is that kind of as a W for me?
As long as it's a W for me too.
It's a W for both of us for sure.
As long as it's not an L for me and you won, because there's always a winner and loser, right? I just want to make sure
we're on the same team, so we're both winning. I love that.
No, it's definitely been a win.
A few things about LinkedIn that I'll just say, a lot of the things I do here, you covered it. First of all, it's a resume platform. It's when you want a new job. Totally wrong. Second of all, you should be connected with everybody at your company and not your customers or your vendors or other people that could be customers. Totally wrong. Third thing is that you can just post, reshare your company things, never post anything else, never comment, never like. Oh, I call it the silent lurkers. So people that scroll on LinkedIn, they spend hours sometimes on LinkedIn, but they never do anything with it.
Well, that was me.
Yeah.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
I was a lurker.
Yeah.
Occasionally I might like, but that was it.
Yeah, and that's really how you drive communication through it and build partnerships and build friendships. I mean, I've had so many people that don't ever like my stuff, don't comment, don't do anything, come up to me at shows like this and say, I've been following your content for years. I love your content. Thank you for posting this. They'll reference specific posts. And I just think that's amazing that you can have just a different avenue with LinkedIn to reach out to people. It doesn't mean you do away with word of mouth or your sales team or any of that.
No, all that stuff still has to happen. I mean, you cannot replace the face-to-face contact,
Right.
but it makes that face-to-face contact so much easier. I mean, the days of cold calling should be over, right? Yeah. We should walk into any prospect call, having already established that relationship online and have some familiarity there. And it just makes that face-to-face contact so much easier.
Yeah. And also another little known secret about LinkedIn is that because it's such a big website, it actually is great for searches on either Google or other AI platforms. So if someone went in and put in Eric Knox and you've been posting original content, it's going to come up just like a blog post would, or just like something that, you wrote in a magazine or any of that. It's actually going to come up under your name. So people will know you're legit. And that's really a cool opportunity for them to know what you're all about. And like you said, there's no cold calling because they already know who you are.
Well, and I think one of the other cool things is it's this market. Well, yeah, it's 3 days long. It might feel like it's 2 weeks long, but this
day
market.
17.
What day is today?
I don't know. I have no idea.
This market's going to live on for weeks, if not longer. I mean, especially with, a lot of the great podcasts you've been recording. So we can just make it go on and on and on. And before you know it, we're going to start releasing content on what's going to happen in Denver.
I agree. It's exciting to think about. And that's what I love about the LBM team. You and Russ and the rest of the team and the communications team have given an opportunity to try some new things. Some of it's worked really well. Some of it hasn't. Some of it is working better now than the first time we tried it. That's the spirit of, I think, independent business with what your dealers are seeing too, is they need to be able to have room for margin to grow and have errors and keep trying new things.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, when I first jumped into this role, there were things that we tried right away and we failed on a couple things. And it's just, we weren't ready. It's not that the idea was bad. It's just we weren't capable and ready to execute. And we're in this position today where I'm just so excited for the momentum we're building and that's going to build here from market and really move on. The fact that we now have 4 people out in the field working directly with members, the feedback from that has been super positive. The leads that we're generating to help our members grow their business has just been awesome.
Yeah, it's been an incredible 12 months. It feels like a lot longer than that.
I know it does.
This episode of the Grit Blueprint podcast was sponsored by Do It Best Group. Do It Best Group is the largest co-op in the world, and they help independent hardware and lumber yards all over North America win. Do It Best offers services, products, and people that can help you win long term. They are the champion of independence.
It looks like we actually have some special visitors in the podcast booth.
We are going to have some special guests.
You like fuzzy baby chicks?
You know me. I love animals.
Oh, hi, sweet baby. This is actually Metzger's Farms, which is one of your hardline dealers that sells baby chicks. And I'm also wearing Burn apparel because I wanted to make sure I wasn't cold today. This baby chick is very active. She is very loud.
My baby chick has like brown and dark colors.
It's almost like we planned this.
Bright.
Come right here, Katie, so we can see you in the camera. Just stay right here. This is Katie. She is actually here with one of the other vendors. So thank you for coming in. I'm going to give you my mic. Tell me just a little bit about your business and what you do here.
My name is Katie. We are a 3rd generation family run hatchery with locations in Memphis, Tennessee, and Gonzales, California. We hatch ducks, geese, chicks, guineas, and heritage turkeys. And so we hatch the birds at our hatchery and ship them to your stores. This is a white layer duckling that's really good for eggs. And this one's a ruined duckling.
Did you give me the loudest one to match me in spirit? It feels like we're meant for each other. I hope my husband's really excited about hearing this all the way back to Georgia. We do have a bathtub that we could use for this bad boy. Hi, sweet baby. Well, Katie, thank you for coming in and bringing these sweet babies. And like Eric said, we are matched here. He's got one that has some darker muted tones, just like him. And then I've got the bright yellow baby that won't shut up. So it's perfect for us. Thank you so much. I love it. All right, I'm going to give this back begrudgingly. And if you're interested in amazing chickens and ducks, you need to come see Katie or talk to her about how you can sell these in your store. Thank you so much, Katie. Man.
Wasn't that awesome?
That was like totally awesome.
I mean, highlight of my market.
Well, now that we've got baby ducks out of the way, that was a really cool moment. You have to admit, you're never going to forget
The
that.
only thing better would have been puppies, right?
Don't tease me with a good time, Eric. I do love puppies, and they are here on the market floor.
I know they are.
It's incredible.
You've already seen them, haven't you?
I have seen them. I walked by earlier. I did not touch any of them, which seems like a absolute crime. I do want to talk a little bit about this jacket that I got because it's pretty cool. It's in my pink color. So this is Burn Apparel. And this is actually a product that I don't think a lot of lumberyards might not think, hey, we could sell this. We talked recently about this is a great item to put by your counter. You've got a lot of merchandising experience. Tell me how you think this could work for lumber dealers.
Yeah, I think you start looking at the inside of a store and just the space that's available. The burn rack, it sits on about 4 square feet and holds all kinds of products. It's all available directly out of our warehouse, one piece at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get stuck with a bunch of excess inventory. Really a great program, and they've got all kinds of programs to help you get started. Rolling into the cooler months, what do we need? They've got racks that are all built out, ready to go, and get you set up, but really maximize that space inside of your store. So whether it's a burn apparel rack or some type of a flooring rack, just to find ways to really maximize that space to drive as many sales as you can.
Absolutely. And it is getting a little chilly. That's why I'm wearing this, because it's actually really cold in here. And this has really done the trick. So thank you. Thank you to the guy, Josh, who gave it to me at the Burn Apparel booth. I love that. Well, let's get back to LBM Sales. We've got a lot of exciting things happening. We're on the podcast booth floor here doing live events. This feels like a really incredible time to be a Do It Best independent member. But there is a lot going on in the macro outside with big box. There are huge pro dealers like BFS and other people. How does the independent win and thrive in this next few years?
Well, I think it's how do you make it easy for your contractor? And it's one of the things we're focused on is how do we make it easier for the member to do business with us? And then really, how do we make it easier for our dealers to work directly with their contractors? So we've tried to focus on things like we brought Toolbox in here at this market to really help make it easier for contractors to pay their bills, get quotes. We've done a lot of training and education. Anybody can kind of source product, but how can we support our dealers with programs and services that really free them up to spend more time selling and working with their contractors and customers?
Yeah, reducing friction, increasing margins, all those things that we can do for dealers. There's been a lot of training at this market, and I think that's a big point of how you grow in the future is making sure that your next generation, I like to call them the ambitious next generation, are out there knowing the products, knowing what's available, and you're helping with technology like Toolbox to be able to help them sell and get paid easier.
Yeah, I mean, that next generation is really important in this industry. And I think that's one of the things that I'm probably most excited about with our sales team here is we really started 5, 6, 7 years ago, bringing in that younger generation into roles where they can kind of learn the industry and then they migrate into a trader role. And the cool thing is when we rolled out into this regional format, we tapped into that and all of our candidates came internally. They're that younger generation. And the best thing is they're going to be here for a long time and grow this business. And then on these teams, we now have these folks that have just rolled into that trader role. And yeah, there's some youth there, but they're learning quickly. They're sharp. And what I love the most is they're hungry. And oh, by the way, when I started keeping score and posting leaderboards, man, those guys were all over it.
Nothing like
and
some
it's been
gamification to bring out the inner warrior.
Yeah. Well, I knew instantly. I'm like, yep, these guys got it, right? That we're
That's
keeping
awesome.
score and they want their name at the top.
Even if you're not keeping score, there's always a score. If we walk down the hallway, I'm going to try to walk faster than you.
Yeah. Kind of like keeping score, a number of attendees that sign up for your session, right?
That does happen once or twice at market, but we won't name names. We'll just say, if you know, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Scoreboard.
Well, thank you for joining me on the Grit Blueprint podcast. And thank you for everything you've done to support this effort and embracing things that, were a little bit edgy and a little bit different, maybe a little bit pinker than normal. And
A lot pinker than normal.
And I will make sure that next episode you have a pink hat and a pink shirt and maybe another baby duck.
You keep threatening.
I am threatening, but I feel like I can do more than threaten this time. I can make it happen. And so my handy assistant, Russ Catherine, has now made all of
Tag
your
go in the back.
Yeah, tag goes in the back. All of your pink cat dreams have now come true. How's that feel?
Oh,
Do you-
awesome.
Do you feel the power surging through that thing?
No, not at all.
Let's take a pic.
Do you have anything in black or gray?
I do not wear black. I'm a true spring, a light spring color palette, and
Yeah.
I'm not actually allowed to put black on my body.
No, it's not going to be spring.
I am always a light spring.
Got it.
Things you didn't know you needed to know on the Grit Blueprint podcast. Well, thank you for joining me, Eric, and thank you for being a good sport. And I think you might have wore it better than me, so you might be winning this one.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. It's been a fun ride and really looking forward to where we go over the next 12 months.
Amazing.
Thank you for listening to the Grit Blueprint podcast. If this episode helped you think a little differently about how to show up, share it with someone in your building world who needs it. If you're ready to turn visibility into growth, then head to gritblueprint.com to learn more and book a call to talk to us about your growth strategy. Until next time, stay unmistakable.